Hey guys, I am Ibigandscary. I'm bringing you another StarCraft 2 replay. This time featuring in our bottom left-hand side of Nimbus is Ajuc. Ajuc is our blue Protoss. He's from the Gold League. And our opponent in the bottom right-hand side, his opponent, not mine. I'm not playing this game. I'm just having a good time. I'm just having a good time. And so is Sekay, our red Protoss. He's also from Gold League. He's from Clan Plague, I believe. It's PLG. And it says Plague. Yeah, it says Plague. Oh, it's Plague. We're good. Only member of that clan, as far as I can tell. Maybe that's changed. I don't know. I have no idea. It's Gold League. Anything goes, really. And it's PvP, so even more so. Nimbus. Nimbus is a map I've never casted on before. It's a pretty weird map, I'm going to be honest. It's got the natural way up on the high ground. CK's a little bit screwed compared to Ajuc. Ajuc gets to expand away from his opponent. CK is having to expand towards him. However, it's only threatened by air. It's nice. It's nice, especially because of the elevation change. With the high elevation right here, meaning that it's a little bit less assailable. However, that means that if you, especially with Terran, if you get some drops, a nice drop, fatty drop in the natural with some siege tanks and whatnot, it's really difficult because you have to basically breach your own base. So yeah, it kind of sucks that CK has to expand towards his opponent. However, you don't really see that come into play too much PvP. So it's gonna be a great game. It's gonna be a great game. I really like Nimbus. I really like this new ladder pool map with the dream pool going out and getting back into the swing of things with brand new maps. I enjoy this. I enjoy this a great deal. In fact, I've seen a lot of people, specifically Zergs, favoring this expansion over this one strictly because of that high ground aspect. And I think that's really cool, giving them two different options, especially whenever you get to expand away from your opponent. Your Zerg, you're already trying to spread creep, so why wouldn't you make your creep naturally be out in the open area? It's cool. It's really cool. It offers a lot of different dynamics, and that's what we're looking for in cool maps. And so we've got Ajuc coming out with his probe, successfully scouting out CK, successfully seeing that there was shenanigans going on back at home. I'm not 100% sure how much he actually did see. Now, he got turned away before he saw the early gas, but that's okay. That's okay. The early gas from CK, along with the Cybernetics core coming out, could be the sign of some early aggression, especially because of the positioning of his buildings back at home, and not really over here by the gateway. In fact, we can see that Ajuc is doing just that, building up his own buildings back at home around this kind of natural choke point, making it so it's really easy for him to defend his early nexus up on the high ground. So Ajuc going for a more economic build, and CK's looking to use that early gas, double tapping that gas actually with that second assimilator coming up, but Ajuc is not far behind, grabbing his own two assimilators. Very important to get that early gas. CK building a pylon on the low ground within spitting distance of Ajuc's base. This is probably the worst place you could put down a pylon. Is he like, I have no idea. At first I was like, oh, he's gonna do like a cannon rush or something like that with the forge back at home that he does not have anywhere. So is he like threatening a cannon rush? Like, I'm gonna build a bunch of cannons on the low ground and then shoot your buildings that I can't see. So I mean, obviously, we know that pylon is being positioned strictly for the super aggression that CK is going to be having coming out. He's got that early mothership core. He's probably going to be throwing down a butt ton extra gateways. He's halfway done with his warp prism, warp gate upgrade. He's going to be using his chrono boost on that. There it goes. We know that this is what this is going to be used for. He's going to warp in a bunch of stalkers back at home. Unfortunately, his timing's a little bit off, and this warp gate's not done for another minute while his pylon is being cut to shreds by a zealot because of his piss poor positioning. Where else could you put that pylon, you ask? And rightly so. Well, gee golly, almost anywhere else. You could put it here. You could put it here. You could even put it way over here. The best part about those pylons is that they're still alive, and this one is dead. So Ajuc is he's gonna be booming. Look at this, 23 over 24 harvesters. Doesn't tell you the whole story. Second nexus already up, is already gonna be making those probes 2 at a time. Absolutely fantastic play to get that forge. That's gonna help him like no one else's business whenever this incoming push comes. And Ajuc has to know that that push is coming because he saw that pylon. What else could you possibly use that pylon for? Well, obviously you could do that forge. You could do those pylons, those photon cannons within spitting distance of your opponent's main. However, he had that early scout. He went in there. He saw that early gateway. He did not see that early gas, though. I'm not 100% sure what Ajuc is thinking is coming down the pike. I believe he's not reacting appropriately to a coming push just because of that pylon, but you could read it another way. You could read it as, oh, it's just a failed attempt, but then why wouldn't you cancel the pylon? I'm not 100% sure. I am not 100% sure. Regardless, Ajuc's going to be in a little bit of trouble because he does have that Oracle coming out, and he's got a butt ton of stalkers along his way. In fact, the pylon's going to be rebuilt in a much better position. The scouting zealot goes off to the north side. I'm not 100% sure what he's looking for, probably another pylon. However, he does succeed in missing these stalkers, so he's going to live to fight another day. However, this whole area is going to be in for a world of hurt in just a couple of seconds. I love the idea of throwing out a photon cannon. I'd love to see probably 2 more. That forge was made strictly for that, I'm sure. It definitely needs more photon cannons. However, if he does succeed in surviving, this Oracle is going to do a ridiculous amount of damage back at home. Is this a nope? Is this a nope? Okay, so there's really nothing back at home to deal with this. Obviously, you can have a quick warp in of 4 stalkers, but those 4 stalkers is not going to be enough to actually deal with this. At the same time that the Oracle is reaching his opponent's base, the stalkers are reaching Ajuc's base, and man, it looks like these stalkers are going to town. Really doing a good job keeping them out of range of everything. He's going to be able to pick apart the pylon, pick out the only gateway. At the same time, we can see 13 workers have been killed. Any stalkers back at home? Yeah, some stalkers actually being warped in pretty quickly from Sekay to deal with that, mitigating some of that damage, but still quite a bit of damage. You can switch over to the economic tab. 36 over 17 harvesters, a lot of damage. It looks like all the stalkers from Ajuc have gone down. The single photon cannon, belated photon cannons being thrown down from Ajuc. Unfortunately, they're going to be depowered as soon as that pylon finishes. So yeah, these photon cannons will finish, but there's not going to be anything to power them. So they're not going to be able to do much help. And it looks like this game is pretty much over. I mean, there's absolutely nothing that you can do to stop Sekay right now. He's got pretty much everything depowered. Yes, the mothership core is capable of throwing down the photon overcharge, but even the void ray just goes down under a hail of stalker fire. And the 3 or 4 stalkers that were warped back at home walk over there. Oh no, I guess these guys were fresh reinforcements. Wisely, Sekay is keeping some units back at home to deal with that ever-threatening loom of the Oracle, which is actually has retreated all the way back at home. But I don't know what Ajuc expects to do with this. Look at how the supply count's so very, very close, because the majority of the probes from Sekay have been completely crushed. The Nexus is undoubtedly going to go down, and really, I mean, what can Ajuc do? Retreat back upstairs? He does have a ridiculous bank. But, oh, the forge is still up. The forge is still up. So are all these photon cannons? No. These are all pylons. They're all pylons, and he's got like 3 photon cannons being created. Ajuc, you're killing me. Okay, another photon overcharge does go down, and oh no, Sekay, no, you cannot retreat. You have to just balls to the wall, go forward, and let the majority of your force attack at the same time, because no, he's retreating. Okay, alright, so Sekay, they're going to stabilize. They're absolutely going to stabilize. They're on 1 base economy each. Sekay is not going to be able to amass enough to break through this huge wall of photon cannons. We got 6 up on the high ground. He's going to be making even more. I mean, he's only blown through half of his bank of gas right now. But even with just 2 photon cannons on the high ground, as soon as these guys finish, that's going to be 4 more. They're going to be able to shred through these stalkers, especially with only half of them being made. If Sekay moved up the ramp, just like right here and parked his units, he could crush every single one of these, or he could have before that last engagement. Instead, he makes it like halfway up the ramp, and I was complimenting him. I was complimenting him on this before because he was moving halfway up the ramp, but it was allowing him to take pot shots at the gateways, pot shot at the pylon, open it up so that he could strong arm his way into his opponent's base later on. However, now when he's got this huge numerical superiority, he just wants to move up to the top of the ramp and then just crush everything, make it so all of your stalkers attack at one time. He stops halfway up the ramp and makes it so his guys are stuck kind of at this choke point, making it so only 4 or 5 stalkers attack at any given moment. And that's brutal. That's absolutely brutal, because that's giving Ajuc plenty of time to use his massive range from the photon overcharge, massive range and damage from these glass cannons, these photon cannons. And that's really just kind of shunted Sekay's ability to keep any form of momentum. Sekay's not going to be able to break this bank now. He's not going to be able to break this ramp, especially the gateway being done. He never even finished warp gate, so that's a problem. I wonder if he even started it. I'm not 100% sure. He got that Oracle out, and basically that would have won him the game. I mean, even now, Sekay, who's had absolutely no harassment to deal with for a while now, has no bank at all, 28 harvesters. He's got another Nexus coming down, so that's great as the game goes on. I mean, he's got a good contain, However, he's not going to be able to break that contain for a while. The stalkers are going to be able to deal with any attempt to expand. It looks like that probe goes down. Even a photon cannon behind the mineral line. I wonder why he made... Oh, it doesn't matter. It's probably just part of his build to protect against the drop, protect against the inevitable DT rush, rather. You know what else helps you protect against that is actually scouting out the gases, being able to see how much gas your opponent is... How much gas your opponent is actually harvesting. 15 kills for that Oracle. We're going to see how high up that actually gets. Remember, he's got 3 Nexus now. He's got a 3rd one on the way. So CK is going to be able to recover from pretty much any economic loss that he gets right now. However, man, that is just brutal. 15 over 32 harvesters. Wow. So Ajuc, even though he's on 1 base, is still massively in the lead as far as mineral income goes. And I think CK is just kind of racking his head, racking his brains. He's getting +1 air upgrades. Maybe he knows something I don't know. Maybe it's strictly because of the mothership core. But I have no idea why you would even bother getting this upgrade for CK. I love this game, though. This is absolutely fantastic. Oh, man, a robot facility up top. Going to be making some immortals. That's going to be just brutal against these stalkers. Ajuc trying once again to sneak out an expansion, or maybe try to build something down on the bottom side of those pylons he's got down there. However, all that does is draw the ire of CK, and he's going to be able to clean up all of these buildings. I'm surprised he hasn't done that already. Just, you know, supply blocking your opponent just a little bit more. If he did take down those pylons, Ajuc would be a little bit closer to being supply blocked. However, as this game progresses, CK is, you know, constantly falling behind as far as trying to break down that front door. So he's doing the right thing. I mean, he's got a natural up. He's got a 3rd that's not really making any probes right now, but it looks like it just finished maybe a couple of seconds ago. So we're going to see 3 probes on the production tab for CK for, you know, pretty much constantly. He's even got a photon cannon back at home. Does he have another one over here? No, he should definitely get a photon cannon pretty much at every base. Yes, he has the pylon position, but no, the wrath of the 31 kills Oracle once again just succeeds in keeping this base completely on the lockdown. Quick reactions from CK as he swoops in to deliver quick justice with his stalkers, but no, it's that Oracle even succeeds in taking down the photon cannon that was gonna be made back at home. Oh man, that Oracle is absolutely paying for its weight in gold. This is single-handedly keeping Ajuc in the game, because really, if you had 3 Nexus and those Nexus were making probes hand over foot, or Nexi, I'm not 100% sure what you want to call it. 3 Nexi, making probes hand over fist, you would constantly be losing this battle, but Ajuc is actually pretty much still in it. He's got a massive bank because he can't really spend it on anything, and as soon as he decides to move down this ramp, and he's quickly approaching that point. I mean, he's got 3 immortals here, only 1 immortal in CK's army back at home. Rather in Ajuc's home. Once this last immortal comes out, I wonder if he's going to have enough to actually break this. I would say so. He might want to wait for another round, but as long as CK chooses not to reinforce anything and is continuing to lose probes, once Ajuc manages to move down this ramp, he's going to be well positioned. He's going to be able to take back his natural, and the main of CK is quickly approaching being mined out. I mean, 30 minerals remaining, 80 minerals remaining. Oh, will that be the end of the Oracle? Oh no, 30 some kills down the drain. But you know what? He did such a good job. 35 over 34 harvesters. Even now, neck and neck. Ajuc, all he has to do is take that natural and then probably just immediately take the 3rd. Here comes the push, and it looks like the Immortals move down without the aid of all the other gateway units, but still, even with just the Immortals, that's enough for Ajuc to deal with CK's entire force. So once again, Ajuc has his home turf back, and he's even got that pylon back, or photon cannons and 2 pylons, as well as the assimilator. So this is absolutely fantastic positioning for Ajuc, pulling all of his probes. Just for long distance mining, I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, he's getting a little bit short on the mineral count here as well in his natural, but I think it might have been just a little bit premature to pull all of the probes at the same time. Blink upgrade coming out, and wow, look at that, +2 ground. Did he bother to finish? He did. Bless his heart, he finished the Protoss air weapons upgrade. That is, oh man, good for him. Colossus coming out too. So CK, even though he's taken some oats, he's definitely He's definitely been dealt some heavy, heavy blows from that Oracle. His main's pretty much completely mined out. He's on 2 bases though, and we can see that those three Nexus are rapidly giving him a boost in the harvester count. I mean, he's almost at 40. It's just going to continue to climb, especially if he continues to make probes. If he continues to make probes, please continue to make probes. I think he got to like the 20-minute mark. He's like, usually I have enough probes. I can stop making probes now. However, he's lost a comical amount of probes. 45 workers have been killed by Ajuc right now. So I think that, yes, he needs to continue to make probes. We have 3 Stargates being made back at home, and that's going to be awesome. That's going to be absolutely brutal, especially if he makes something like Void Rays. Probably wants to shy away from the Phoenix, but maybe even could work his way towards Tempest. Is going to be nothing but awesome and very, very powerful against these Colossus. On the other hand, Sekay still has his 4 gateways back at home. He's even got that blink. His stalkers are going to be very, very powerful. In fact, I see 2 radically different unit compositions going to be coming out from both of these Protoss players. You got the stalkers and the Colossus, so you kind of got that Walker army, and then you have all of these Immortals back at home, and they're going to be tethered to these Void Rays, so that's incredibly powerful. In fact, I would give the advantage to Ajuc as this game goes on, just because he didn't lose a single one of his Immortals in that first engagement coming down from the ramp, and so these Immortals, you cannot discount the fact that these Immortals are incredibly powerful. They're so robust. They take so much damage. They absolutely shred gateway units, which is really the meat of Sekay's army. And I say that even though he's only got 4 gateways. I would love to see him add on some more, but man, he is just starved for money. Look at the bank comparatively between the 2 of them. And while I can say that he's starved for money, he doesn't have a lot of money, but it's because he's blowing through his money very, very quickly. He's getting all sorts of upgrades, including air armor. Not 100% sure about the logic of that because he doesn't have a Stargate. Again, maybe it's... I have no idea. I have no idea. Maybe he knows something I don't know about the Colossus, where it's like... I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea. There's no justification in my mind. However, Ajuc is moving down. He's getting +1 air upgrades, but that kind of makes sense because he's got Void Rays. He's got 2 more Void Rays on the production tab. This is going to be a terrifying, terrifying army right now. 3rd base underway, even rebuilding a forge. Get out some more photon cannons to prepare for the inevitable harassment. But Sekay, no. Sekay doesn't do harassment. He doesn't care about harassment. He is 100% in this to win this a fair brawl. His 4-gate kind of failed. Let's be honest, it definitely failed. The 4-gate was incredibly successful in and of the fact that it took out the main, but it didn't really seal the deal. So now Sekay is having to macro past the point where he's usually used to macroing. I get the feeling he doesn't make this transition very often, just because he stuttered so heavily whenever it happened. He is on 2 base economy right now, but his economy is booming. I mean, look at this income, and he's still doing a pretty good job of keeping his income in check. He's keeping his bank being spent pretty much constantly, adding on more gateways, getting out that Stargate, going to be able to use those upgrades that he's got for some weird reason. Extended Thermal Lance is going to be finishing 4 Colossus on the ground. Is definitely missing the meat of his army. I'd love to see extra Zealots being added in there, just because Zealots do a really good job of kind of buying time for the Colossus and the Stalkers to actually start doing damage. However, when this thing hits, these Void Rays are going to be able to absolutely shred through anything on the ground. Stalkers and Colossus both do a very, very poor job of dealing with Void Rays whenever they're in this number. I mean, let's be honest, there's, 10 Void Rays on the field, and how many Stalkers? Just a little bit more Stalkers than Void Rays. That's a really bad recipe. However, with 2 Stargates of his own, CKs might be able to, equalize this. And as the game goes on, we'll see what happens. Fleet Cannon. Yeah, Fleet Beacon. It's not really a cannon. It's kind of like a cannon. I was thinking of Tempest just because their shots look kind of like a cannon, but that was stupid. I don't know. This game is absolutely ludicrous. You can see, is this an observer? Oh, wow, good job, buddy. Good job, Ajuc. He's going out there. He's looking around all over the place, finding that hidden nexus from Sekay. That's going to be a very, very handy little inside knowledge. Maybe warp in a handful of Zealots, send them up there, 5 or 6, do the job, no problem at all. Let's talk about upgrades. We've got +2 on the way. Wow. +2 air on the way. I think that's from that single forge that we saw at the 3rd. Yeah, so I'd love to see 1 or 2 more forges being thrown down. He's definitely falling behind as far as upgrades go. Still all zeros across the board for that ground. And then on the ground, we see +2/+2 coming out for Sekay. His ground army is going to be so robust. Oh, wow, even a mothership core coming in. 2 carriers with that graviton catapult. Those interceptors are going to be brutal. I don't know if the interceptors are going to be a good pick. It's so expensive to get. He's running low on minerals. Honestly, I'd just love to see another robotics bay and then 2 more gateways and more Colossus, more stalkers. You know, invest in what you've already invested in. Your upgrades are kind of very ground centric, so just focus on the ground. You're not going to be able to compete in the air. You're not going to be able to compete against this. Part of that's because CK has no idea what Ajuc is doing. I don't believe he scouted anything past his initial push. Yeah, no, he's got no idea what's going on. However, he does know he's getting a 4th base up top. A single zealot from Ajuc is going to be able to whittle down this nexus eventually. But oh no, 2 zealots. That's not even fair. CK warping in 2 zealots up to the north side, just going to be able to take care of that zealot, no problem at all. Good reactions from CK, and at the same time he's deciding to push out. Nope, no, he's not. However, Ajuc is almost max. Wow, Ajuc is almost max. Almost. He's got a lot of Void Rays. He's even continued to crank out those Immortals. Does he have any Stalkers at all? Just 2 Stalkers, but he doesn't need them. He doesn't need them. The Void Rays are going to be able to shred the Colossus. The Immortals are going to be able to shred anything on the ground. This unit composition is devastating. It's also incredibly expensive, but whenever Ajuc came down from his natural, he had like 3K banked up across the board. So he could afford it. He could afford to immediately throw it on 3 Stargates. He could afford to immediately transition into this incredibly expensive unit composition. And now that we have 4 bases, and he's not really saturated on the 3rd base that he's mining on, because his main, rather, I wanted to call it natural because he expanded to it, but it's not. His main is actually almost getting mined out, so he's going to be able to transition very nicely into this ultra late game area. +3/+3, almost finished for CK, and it looks like with that he is totally maxed. He's got 2 carriers, another one on the production tab. It looks like 2 of them are being built, but yeah, 2 of them are being built, and it looks like he's got enough supplies so they're actually going to count out, you know, pop out. So maybe that's what he's waiting for is, oh, he's not making, yeah, you got to right click on the build interceptors to make it so they build all the interceptors that they can make. Did he? Yeah, he did it on the first one, but not really on the second one. It looked like he did. I don't know. I have no idea. However, he's got that 4th base. 4th base is going to be mining. Main is also mined out. However, that's totally okay. Totally okay. Both of their economies pretty intact. Very much full in swing. 73 over 55 harvesters. CK probably went a little bit overboard. However, this is a great unit comp. I mean, they're very, very powerful, very, very typical of your Protoss buddies. He's got to be very careful about his positioning. Remember, he's got those blink on those stalkers, but if he moves forward out of the protection from the mothership core, he's going to get absolutely shredded. Oh no, and the observer is within range, so this really comes down to positioning. If the Immortals get on top of these stalkers, they are absolutely brutalized. But oh no, Ajuc's only engaging with about half of his army, and CK is going to be able to shred through all the Immortals on the ground. However, the Void Rays are just way too much. The stalkers choosing to engage the Immortals instead of the Void Rays, and it looks like enough survive, maybe. Oh man, this is a lot closer than I expected. Looks like the last carrier is going to get cleaned up. I wonder if CK remembered to make every single one of the interceptors that he could, or if some of those interceptors or some of those carriers were actually at half capacity. If they were at half capacity, and that's what cost CK this battle, because only 4 Void Rays are left. And you know what, these Colossus could probably just a move into the main. Oh, that's quite a lot of Immortals that didn't actually fight. So that's a bit of a disappointment from Ajuc. He could have absolutely crushed this ground army with those Immortals and with these Void Rays actually engaging them. However, with a fresh swell of stalkers from CK, we can see he's built up a massive bank. Not a lot of minerals, but that's okay. He's going to be able to throw down a hell of a lot of zealots, get in there, and stalkers are definitely what he needs. He needs to also engage, oh, the move command. The move command. Oh, CK gets decimated due to the move command. He just moves in with all these stalkers that could easily deal with these 4 Void Rays, and then moves them right next to the Immortals. And the Immortals are like, yes, thank you. I will kill these. No problem. And they get just brutalized. It looks like 2 more carriers on the production tab and nothing else. All the minerals in the world, but no gas. Is he not mining in any gases anywhere? Does he got them up in the main? Yeah, he's got them. 2 out of 3, but no big deal there. No big deal. Much more efficient that way. Much more efficient. I think this is. I said it once already, but I think this game is over now. Way too many Void Rays out on the field. These Immortals are pretty much untouchable. And there's really, I mean, even with the upgrade advantage, there's not much that you can do. Those carriers are such a good play, though. They're so good. Those units are so great. A lot of zealots being warped in, but now with nothing to protect, you know, nothing to actually deal damage behind them, they're just going to get cleaned up. Zealots are trying to bring down the immortals, even succeeding in bringing down one immortal, but I think CK is totally done, and I wouldn't be surprised for him just to leave with you know, this constant pressure. He's got a lot of money left over. In fact, he could probably afford to rebuild himself on the north side, just sack this entire base, but it looks like he's going to wait it out. A lot of Void Rays out on the field still, just continually making stalkers back at home. He's got a lot of gateways. Maybe he can take it. You know, he's got blink, right? Doesn't he have blink? Yeah, he's got blink. You know, blink underneath these Void Rays, just shoot straight up, take them out completely. He's still got to deal with all those immortals, but once again engaging so that only half of his army actually fires at any given time, staying true to his roots all the way through. CK leaves, no GG, but why would you GG? I would want to get out of this game as fast as possible. That's beautiful. You know what else is beautiful is you guys for watching this video. So thanks for that. I'm looking to get back into this game. This is a hell of a lot of fun. I had a hell of a lot of a good time. I hope Ajuc enjoyed this game too. I would recommend to Ajuc to scout more. He did poke in with his probe. He did see a gateway, and that's it. But you know, you go back in, check out those gases. Even if you lose the probe, totally understandable. Totally a great idea to do that. I understand that you poked in and you saw enough and then left and came back with your oracle, but if you had poked in a little bit later, you would have seen, you know, that chrono boost on the cybernetics core, the double gas. You would have seen those early warning signs for that push, and then react just a little bit stronger. Throw down an extra photon cannon, one photon cannon, not really enough, and then don't forget to get out that warp gate tech. That warp gate tech is so very, very important. If you'd had that and when you were up here, you would have been able to break down probably twice as fast. As far as CK goes, man, I don't know. I think that it all started to unravel with that pylon on the low ground. From there on in, I think the transition was a little bit shaky. I think as soon as you saw that oracle just start throwing down photon cannons every which way, you can't be defensive enough against that sort of thing, especially at this rank. A lot of the pros will be able to warp in one or two stalkers and deal with it no problem at all. However, that takes a lot of skill and talent, and I don't have that. So don't be afraid to go overboard on the static defenses, especially whenever something like an oracle is involved. It could have definitely saved you a lot of headache, and you did a great job transitioning. I mean, I like the idea for the unit comp. You did well with spending your money, did a great job keeping control of the bank, so it was fantastic. It was fantastic. You guys are fantastic. Thanks for watching the video. I am Big and Scary. I will see you guys. Oh yeah, if you have a game you want me to cast here or on Reddit, send me a PM. Yeah, so that'd be great. I'll see you guys.